Hi Virgo, welcome to the pink full moon in Scorpio for April 23rd, 2024. Pink is not the color of the moon, unfortunately, but it is about the pink flowers that tend to bloom around this time. So just as nice, but full moons close out cycles. We're closing out a cycle of fear for you. And in any case, that's the direction that this reading is going in. It's number 5. 5 brings change. It's also the roller coaster ride, right? And it is an energy that you're dealing with. So possibly an internal energy. And that may be of you or of somebody around you. But that is the direction the reading is going in. I'm going to lay out all the cards first, and the first column is where you find yourself at the time of the full moon, or if you are consciously closing out a situation, a cycle, you can be dealing with that. The center card is you and how you're dealing with the whole situation, what you're thinking, the actions that you're taking, how you're feeling, your motivations. And the last column is the probable outcome. It is probable because, forewarned is forearmed. And maybe we can change scenarios once we know. That's why we watch the tarot videos. But some things we are meant to experience, and always for our growth, always for our benefit, though it may not always seem that way at first. But we're learning something, and that is always beneficial. All right, so let's have a look and see what's going on here. You have a lot of fire around you, really a lot. So there can be a lot of passionate energy, a lot of overblown energy, perhaps some anger, perhaps some fear. Let's start at the beginning here. Duality. We have some choices to make here. If the Ace of Wands, which is a new idea, right, a new passion, comes up, then we have to make, let's say, okay, we have a spark, right? Oh, I have a great passion for cooking, let's say, baking. I just learned how to bake this particular thing, and now I want to do something with it. So I have to make some choices here. Well, what do I want to do with it? We may look out into the larger world to see what are other people doing with it. But they are choices. It's always duality, choices, partnerships. One thing may have already been established. You're looking to do something new, something else, to add to that something. And it may be in business because we're looking at the Emperor here for some people, but it can also be in regards to an important male in your life. Now this can be a father figure, a husband, a boss, but somebody in the know, somebody with authority. This is my Aries card. Interestingly enough, this is my Aries card, so there can be a very fiery person around you. These are leaders of some sort. The Emperor, like I said, is an authority figure, and they can rule with an iron fist, or they can make rules and regulations and laws for the good of everyone, and hopefully that's the choice that you take here, or this person does. Okay, looks like we're looking at our financial system as well. Again, if with this new passionate idea, what if I created, sees even leaning against his passion, his idea, his spark. Also, this is the autumn timing, so we may be looking towards autumn. But, like I said, Seven of Pentacles is sort of taking the time to reflect and edit. And that can be the choices that we're making here in regards to some really important, maybe a male figure, but also some really important establishing a good, strong foundation. So this would be sort of like the crop that you yielded from the previous field that you worked, let's say, from your garden. and you didn't like the string beans, so now you're going to plant tomatoes, right? It's kind of that editing thing. But it's also feeling very reflective in regards to what it is that you've done so far and how do you want to take it further. Because you do have this new idea, although I must say I do feel like you're a little bit timid or guarded. The Nine of Wands is these have been your experiences from the past. Nine is always an accumulation of the cycle, right? It's not finished, but it's the accumulation, what you've accumulated from your past ideas, from your past passions, let's say. And you've been through the ringer, right? You've had been through the hard knocks, and it kind of shows. And so you're a little bit tired, and you're a little bit wary of making those same mistakes again. Sometimes it can be looking over your shoulder as well. Mm-hmm. But you are ready to, I mean, the nine is the end of a cycle, so you do have some new idea coming up here, but there is some fear that you're dealing with for sure. Again, not wanting to make the same mistakes or kind of re-editing. Sometimes the Nine of Wands can be a little bit of a paranoia feeling. You're ready to move on. You are absolutely ready to move on here. You may be ready to move on from something that has already been like established, that already has some foundation. But moving on can also be, well, for some people it can be moving on from a relationship. You may feel fearful about it. Be careful that you're not stepping into the same scenario, right? We have Aries here and Aries there. So for somebody, it can be somebody who's very similar to the person that you're going to be moving on from, because this is passion. But they can be very much the same type of person. For some people, if the relationship or the situation has been abusive, then you may want to seek establishments or establishments that help you to move out of an abusive situation. Right? There are groups that help. Doesn't always have to be that for everyone. That would be impossible. But I do feel like that's a scenario for somebody. The Six of Swords is taking your lessons with you and understanding them from a calmer mind, a quieter perspective, another place, right? New shores. But it calms the situation down. All right, it's very calming. Because here we have the choppy waters, right? Here the waters are more calm. So from a calmer perspective, a calmer emotional situation. Things are calming down. That's good. For somebody interesting, you may be looking at someplace overseas to travel to, and it can be a little bit scary. You may be taking on new position overseas in a different country. For some it could be a different state, but it really does feel like another part of the world. And it could be a little bit scary too. But you have an accumulation of wisdom, so do remember that. You know what you're doing here. You have good experience. Let me put it that way. You have experience. Interesting. The probable outcome, we have the King of Wands here, so that's a leadership role. You may be taking on a leadership role or a role of authority somewhere else. And there may be a lot of new things to contend with. Seven of Cups is a bit of a confusion card. Lots of choices, lots of things to deal with. If there are choices, this card says, what does the heart want? Again, this is my Aries card, so this is somebody who blazes new trails. And you have that Ace of Wands there, which is a new spark, something new. And when we take on this Ace of Wands, it is the stuff that dreams are made of, which is really, really nice. So there could be some confusion, maybe even some different language for other people, right? You don't speak the language. But eventually everything settles down. You have the Ten of Cups. Nice. Nice. So that serves for all the scenarios that I spoke of. If you are looking to go overseas and it gets a little bit confusing at times, you'll settle into it. And there's a nice emotional maturity happening here. If you're leaving somebody for somebody else, again, there's emotional maturity, there's happiness, there's happy family. Do be careful of looking at things through rose-colored glasses. Be very practical. But this is the couple from the Two of Cups that have emotionally matured. So this is like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Happy family, happy home, new shores, new home, new... It's nice. And again, you have another 10. So, finishing up one scenario while beginning something new. And again, this can be a 14-year situation cycle. So, it does feel a bit long-term. If you are fearful of leaving somebody who is abusive, wherever you go, you find a little more security. You'll be happier. But it's getting over that initial fear, right? And that kind of feeling of, I've been here before, I don't want to make the same mistakes again. Interesting. I think Virgo's going through quite a few things at the moment, but it turns out quite nice. And the idea of fear and the number 5. 5 brings change. 5 is the energy that pushes us to find balance, which is 6. And we have to look at our fears and face them in order to do that. And then you have the number 6, which is moving on. Either moving on to new shores, resigning yourself to, that's the way it is not different, let me move on, let me go, let me move away, let me find the calmer shores, let me take my responsibilities. It comes right after the 5 of Swords, and the 5 of Swords is a difficult card. It's something that was hard won. Okay, Virgo, a little bit heavy, but like I said, it works out in the end very nicely. The 7 of Cups gives you choices. It's the 7 planets that offer you something, and you may not know what to choose, but the card always says, what does the heart want? Thank you for listening. I hope this has been helpful. I will return in 2 weeks with a new moon reading. Thank you for being patient with my absence. Had a lot to deal with. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.